Some of history's most iconic images didn't come from careful planning. They came from happy accidents. Sometimes what seems like a mistake becomes the very thing that defines a legend. And in one case, a small misunderstanding with yarn created a symbol recognized around the world.
Twist, twist, twist of fate radio.
In the early 1970s, a British television program was in the middle of reinventing itself. The show had already captured audiences with stories of time travel, alien encounters, and daring adventures across galaxies. But its central figure was unique. Unlike a James Bond or a Superman, this hero could change his face. When one actor left, another would step in, each bringing their own personality to the role. By 1974, it was time again. A new actor was about to take over the lead. Producers wanted to make sure this character would stand out. Something bold, something memorable. They began sketching ideas for costumes. Long coats, eccentric hats, perhaps a splash of color. They turned to a young costume designer named James Acheson to bring the look together. Acheson wanted the new character to appear otherworldly, yet approachable. Quirky, but dignified. He decided the character needed a scarf. Not just any scarf, but something that suggested a touch of the bizarre. To create it, he went to a local knitter named Begonia Pope. Handing her a bag filled with wool in a variety of colors, he gave her only the simplest of instructions. Make a scarf. But here's where fate stepped in. Pope had no detailed guidance on length, pattern, or style, so she assumed the bag of wool was meant to be used in its entirety. Rather than stopping after a few feet, she kept knitting, and knitting, and knitting. Color after color, stitch after stitch. When she finally brought the finished piece back, it was absurdly long, stretching several meters. It wasn't just a scarf, it was practically a blanket. Most designers might have laughed it off as a mistake, cutting it down or starting over. But when Acheson and the production team saw it, they didn't toss it aside. They leaned in. They realized that this error gave the new character exactly what he needed. A look unlike anything seen before on television. And the actor about to step into the role knew instinctively what to do with it. He draped it over his shoulders, wrapped it around himself, tossed it across the room, even used it in physical comedy. The scarf became a character all its own. Week after week, audiences tuned in to see this eccentric figure in a floppy hat and an impossibly long scarf, leaping through time and space. Children copied it. Fans began knitting their own versions. It wasn't just part of the costume anymore. It was a statement, a signature. By the late 1970s, the scarf was intentionally famous. When people thought of the show, they thought of that image. That character with curls spilling out from under his hat and the scarf trailing to the floor. What began as one knitter's misunderstanding turned into one of the most iconic costumes in science fiction history. And here's the twist. That eccentric hero was none other than the fourth Doctor in Doctor Who. The actor was Tom Baker, and his scarf, born from nothing more than an overabundance of yarn, became one of the most beloved and recognizable symbols in television. A simple mistake with knitting needles transformed into a legend that endures to this day, reminding us that accidents sometimes make the best stories. This has been Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Until next time, remember, sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest consequences. Want to explore more stories like this? Visit twistoffateradio.com. There you can read more details about this story and others like it. Plus, you can submit your own Twist of Fate story to be considered for a future episode. You never know what twist of fate is coming next.